Now we'll see if the floodgates open. Gersich on goal! Yes, sir! Shane Gersich makes it 2!
The month of March has been good to North Dakota hockey, and it yields another playoff sweep this past weekend. Welcome to North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry. I'm Alex Heinert. Coming up on today's program, we're going to revisit UND's NCHC first-round success against St. Cloud State, look ahead to this weekend's Frozen Faceoff at the Target Center, and profile the man that has turned in 3 game-winning goals in the last 2 weeks. All that and more with the head coach of North Dakota men's hockey, Brad Berry. And Coach, welcome to the playoffs. This has been kind of a playoff mode for your team the last couple of weeks, knowing you needed to win to secure home ice and to reach a spot in the NCAA tournament. Just talk about how that experience of playing in some must-win games helped you this past weekend.
Well, I think, first of all, it sharpens you up mentality-wise. Obviously, knowing that they're must-win games to keep your season alive, that's a big deal, playing with desperation and urgency. And I thought our team did a very good job of channeling that, focusing on the job at hand, and having that playoff-like mentality.
Yeah, you got a big road sweep the week before in Miami to earn home ice. A lot of that momentum carried over this weekend against the Huskies.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we came out of Miami feeling pretty good as far as playing on 2 very solid games, and this is what you need at the time of year, of having everybody contributing and playing consistent hockey. And you know, I thought we did that for the most part this weekend.
Yeah, hard-fought series certainly against St. Cloud State. We'll have the highlights from a wild Friday night when we come back.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
We're just getting started with the conversation with Brad Berry about North Dakota's first-round NCHC playoff series against St. Cloud State. And Coach, 15th straight year you hosted a first-round conference series. Not very often, though, has it been a 4-5 matchup. We expected a tight one against St. Cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 very even teams playing. Again, you never know. Usually you think about 3 games. You know, we're thankful that we didn't get to 3 games, but anytime you have 2 very similar teams, there's a good chance to get to 3 games.
Yeah, North Dakota went 3-1 against the Huskies in the regular season. Could they keep that momentum going into the playoffs? They get a boost with the return of Brock Besser after missing the series against Miami. The Ralphs certainly ready to go. Great first period for your side in this one. Zach Jan here with an early chance, nearly to make it 1-0 halfway through the first.
Yeah, you know what? We turned. They turned the puck over. We had good sticks in there, and Zach did a nice quick shot on net. Went through the legs of the goaltender and then out the other side. But I thought we did a good job of separating the puck from them.
Yeah, unlucky bounce there, just through the legs of Smith and off the pipe. You get a fortunate bounce a couple of minutes later. Rhett Gardner puts one on net, goes off the stick of Jimmy Shelton into the back of his own net.
Well, it's about time. You know, we've gone through the year and not had a lot of breaks offensively, getting pucks to the nets, and I thought we did a good job of just funneling it there, and again, we'll take it.
Yeah, 1-0 North Dakota at that point. 3 minutes later, another turnover from the Huskies. Falls to the right man. Shane Gersich, the NCHC goals champion, does not miss from there to make it 2-0.
I was just going to say, Alex, he's pretty deadly in that area if he's 1-0 with the goaltender there, and he has a knack for scoring goals in those areas, and that was a huge goal at the time to get a 2-goal lead here.
20th of the year for the sophomore from Chaska. 2-0 North Dakota. Tail end of the first. You just about make it 3. Great find here from Shane Gersich to hit Tyson Jost, and the freshman putting one off the pipe.
Yeah, good evasive play down low by Shane, and then obviously going to the net with Tyson there. Just one break away from making it 3-0. But I thought our guys did a lot of good things. Sometimes after 2-0 game, you let off the gas a little bit, and our guys kept coming.
Yeah, good opening period there. 2-0 after the first 20 minutes. Things, though, would start to shift in the second because of special teams. A big hit there by Colton Pullman sends into the box for a boarding on Jake Wallen midday through the period. Austin Bagansky would go there shortly afterwards, so a 5-on-3 opportunity for St. Cloud State. And Grand Forks native Jacob Benson able to make you pay for this one.
Yeah, you know what? We did get into some penalty trouble. That gives the other team momentum, and they do have a very sharp power play that can move the puck around. They capitalized on the 5-on-3, and now they got momentum in the second period here.
2-1 at this point, but tail end of the second, you get a 5-on-3 opportunity of your own, and you were just peppering Jeff Smith with this man advantage.
Yeah, we had a shot first mentality there. You know, we couldn't capitalize, but I thought we established the momentum back towards our favor. And again, that's the key on a power play. If you don't score, you got to try to at least get momentum, and here we did score.
Yeah, St. Cloud able to kill off the first penalty. Brock Besser, though, make sure you don't kill off the second. A big goal there to make it 3-1.
Yep, this is right in Brock's wheelhouse. That's what he does. He shoots pucks and scores a lot of goals that way. and had good net front there with Austin Paganski. Huge goal to have a 2-goal lead there.
Yeah, nice speed, by the way, from Tucker Pullman. 7th point in the last 3 games for the all-conference defenseman. 3-1 going into the third. Another power play, though, midway through the period. And again, St. Cloud State able to score on the man advantage. Kind of a mix-up there in net with Cam losing his stick.
Yeah, he lost his stick. We tried to give him one, and under our system, we want to keep our own sticks as defenders, and Cam would be fine without it, but we end up getting tangled up there, and we had a miss clear too. So they're a good team. They put the puck in the back of the net with a mistake there.
Yeah, Jimmy Schultz with the goal to make it 3-2. You would get the next goal, the crucial 6th goal in this game. Great feed from St. Gersic to Paganski. Beautiful backhand to make it 4-2.
Yeah, nice rink-wide pass there, and I think they were cheating on it a little bit to try to gain some offense out of it, to try to intercept the puck. And again, we've seen Austin time and time again come over across and make that move. And again, huge goal to get the 2-goal lead back.
11th goal of the season for the St. Cloud Cathedral High School graduate. 4-2 there. A couple of big moments here at the end. Again, the goalie is pulled at the other end. Joel Janatuinen, a really smart play here to not fire one down. The puck eventually comes to him, and he's able to score the empty netter to seal this one.
Well, Alex, that's a key word when you associate with Joel is the word smart. He's a very smart player. He always does the right thing with the puck, and he's very trustworthy at that time of the game.
5-2, the final right there. You take game 1 in this best-of-3 series against St. Cloud State.
Coming to playoff hockey, every team takes a little step up, and kind of saw that tonight against St. Cloud. I thought we started really well in the first period, getting after the defensemen, and kind of took the foot off the gas pedal in the second. I thought in the third we came back and played a full 60 minutes, so we're proud of the team. St. Cloud's going to step it up a bit, and I know we are too, and the hardest thing in hockey is to end someone's season, so I think we'll look to do that tomorrow.
Well, an uplifting 5-2 Game 1 victory for North Dakota. In the Miami series, it felt like the secondary scoring really pitched in. Tonight, though, it really was the stars coming out and making the difference.
Yeah, you know what, our guys, they made impactful plays at key times of the game. And I thought, when the game was getting away from us a little bit, we got it back, and that's a big thing about a team that's maturing as we go and becoming more of a team. So again, good signs.
Yeah, well, a great win to start the series. The Huskies, though, not ready to throw in the towel just yet. We'll have the highlights from game number 2 when we come back. Welcome back. Well, North Dakota picked up a big 5-2 win over St. Cloud State in game 1 of their NCHC quarterfinal series. But coaches, the guys mentioned, again, it's always tough to end the team season, and St. Cloud State came out with a fight on Saturday. As we go back to the Ralph for the highlights of game 2. The building in anticipation of what maybe could be the final home game of the season should you prevail. Again, your guys amped up certainly for this one. Another strong opening 5 minutes in the first period for North Dakota.
Yeah, you know what, we threw a lot at them here in the first 5. We had a lot of good chances. We just didn't bury it, unfortunately, but we put them on the ropes early. They withheld it, and they got their feet back on the ground after that. Yeah,
Jeff Smith, the St. Cloud netminder, busy certainly in the opening 5 of this game. A couple of really good chances off rebounds. Joel Janatuinen here, a couple of great looks at it. Just 2 big saves from the sophomore goaltender.
Yeah, you know what? Smith did a great job of keeping the game scoreless. Could have been 2 or 3-0 in the first 5 minutes, which could have changed the outlook of the game. But again, they withheld it and they came back at us.
Yeah, 13 shots on frame for UND in the first, but St. Cloud State gets the goal. Nick Paling with the redirect off the shot from the point to make it 1-0.
Yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job taking the shot lane away. We didn't have very good net front there, and they got a stick on it to get the first goal.
Key moment here in this contest. Under 2 minutes left in the first. A goal scored by Robbie Jackson from St. Cloud State. Whistles fly all over the place. They review it. Too many men on the ice, and the goal gets waved off.
Yeah, well, last time I checked, you only can have 5 guys on the ice, and they had 6, and it was, it was a call that should have been made, and they did. And again, it was a 2-goal swing now here.
Yeah, big challenge there. Goal gets disallowed. St. Cloud State also gets a penalty for taunting on the play, and Austin Paganski again taking advantage.
Yeah, great play down in and look on the power play, and that's a big goal. They disallowed one, could have been 2-0. Now it's back to 1-0. Now we get the power play, and this was key capitalizing on it because now it's a tie game, and now momentum's back in our favor here.
11th goal of the season for Austin, his second in as many nights against his hometown team. 1-1 going into the second period. Early man advantage for St. Cloud State in the opening minute of the period. You, though, take advantage shorthanded. Paganski, a great play. He finds Jost, and Tyson buries this one to make it 2-1.
Yeah, you know what? Killing a penalty, and we were a little bit aggressive up ice here, and I think they let off the gas for just a little bit and gave a chance for Austin to get the zone, and then obviously Tyson's coming in the zone here, finding a nice lane and making a great shot.
Third point of the series for the junior from St. Cloud. Jost there with the big short-handed goal, 2-1 the score. Midway through the second, though, again, the Huskies able to claw back. Robbie Jackson finding Patrick Newell to make it 2-2.
Yeah, you know what? We were going into D-zone breakout mode there, and I think we had, again, a little bit of weak net front there, which gave them an opportunity. And again, we weren't sharp in our end of the rink in this particular night, and it cost us a little bit.
You were sharp on this end, though. 2 minutes later, Rhett Gardner again finding Brock Bessler in front just across the crease. Another big goal from the sophomore.
Yeah, a really good job of the forecheck there with Gardner disrupting play and getting a stick on a puck and making a nice play over to Brock.
15th of the year for Besser. You go to the third up 3-2. Just a crazy 20 minutes out there at the Ralph. A scramble here in front of St. Cloud State, just trying to find a way back in, and John Lazat able to punch one through.
Yeah, again, we had bodies there, but we didn't have bodies in situations where we took away their sticks. And, you know, they're playing with desperation. They had a defenseman up in the slot there, and they made a nice play. 3-3 the score here, and a big turnover forced by Trevor Olson, gifting a goal to Shane Gersich. Great shot there again, second of the series for Shane. Yeah, they tried to make an extra play, and I thought Trevor did a good job of separating the puck there and not taking a penalty, too. Moving a puck up the ice to Shane, and again, appropriately given to him because he can bury it.
That was the joke after the fact. Trevor Olson all too happy to let Shane take that one in. 4-3. It felt like maybe that would be the game winner at that point, but plenty of game left. And again, St. Cloud State behind defenseman John Lazat. Another beautiful goal in the top corner to make it 4-4.
It almost looks like a replay of the last one. You know, obviously we didn't clear a puck, and you know, we're kind of moving around here with guys wide open, and we didn't get in the shooting lane. So again, we're in a game, 4-4.
Yeah, Lazat, another Grand Forks kid coming back to score on his home rink. Second goal of the night for him. Second goal of the night here for Nick Paling. Great moves there to find the back of the net and make it 5-4 just a couple minutes after tying things up.
Yeah, we didn't get it clear. You know, we should put it up the wall, a little bit stronger play, and then they get a play going against the grain, and they get the lead. Now we have to try to play catch up here.
Bob Motzko taking a timeout with 5:26 left to settle things down. Gave your guys a chance to regroup a little bit, and Christian Willanen making the most of it. Under 4 minutes left, a big blast from the defenseman to tie things back up. Huge goal here.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job in the offensive zone protecting the puck and possessing it here. You can see we get it back to the point. Good net front there, trying to get a tip, but Christian makes a good high shot to get over shoulder, and it's a huge goal. Kept the game alive.
And you can see the emotion there from Willanen and the rest of this team that pushed it to overtime at 5 apiece. 7:38 into the OT. Johnny Simonson, a speculative shot from the boards. Trevor Olson there to tip it in. Nobody really knew what was going on initially. Gino Binder, though, right on top of things to call it a good goal.
Yeah, you know what? Even Trevor, I didn't think thought it was in the net. He was coming off for a line change after this, but really good job of having that shot first mentality. Got to stick on it, and that's one of the concepts in overtime is hey, don't pass up on a shot. Every shot's a good shot, and again, Johnny had that mindset.
As you see, the quick goal stands, the crowd and the team goes into celebration. Third game-winning goal in the last 4 games for Trevor Olson, and that seals the game 6-5 in overtime and the series 2-0. North Dakota moving on to the Frozen Faceoff.
It was almost a must-win for us, especially getting late in the season here, and obviously that feeling at the end there was overwhelming, especially with the 2 seniors in the locker room, you know, getting a win in their last game here.
The way that we've played the game the last 3 weeks or so shows that this team can do something with this season. Obviously, we've had our highs and lows, lost our fair share of games, but just like tonight, it just shows that our team has a maturity and has a discipline and a hard game to us.
The adversity that we went through and stuck with today was just unbelievable, and this young team is now kind of maturing, and I wouldn't want to play us right now.
Well, great fight again from this North Dakota team. Brad, a gutty 6-5 win. I know not happy about surrendering some of those goals and surrendering that lead in the third period, but you got to feel great about the fight this team showed.
Yeah, those are some of the games early in the season that got away from us. That we didn't recoup and win the game, and obviously going through those experiences help us to be on the right side of it. Proud of the way our guys battled. The stuff that went on defensively, we can correct that. I mean, that's something that we can correct this week and move forward here. We're excited about moving on to Minneapolis here.
Yeah, the series sweep gives you that spot in the Frozen Faceoff. You've reached this spot now 4 straight years. You've never made it past the semis, though. New frontier here for your team.
We've already talked about it during the week here already. We've talked about having more success, and part of that has become the distraction of of the tournament, and making sure that our family becomes first, the family in that locker room with 26 players and staff, and making sure that we have a chance for success early on in that tournament.
Yeah, in terms of that semifinal matchup, you get the top-ranked and top-seeded Denver Pioneers, of course. That's the team that's won 13 straight games. You haven't seen this team since November. Your team obviously has changed quite a bit since that 3-on-3 overtime win and the loss the following night. How do you feel this team has grown and matured since back then?
On and off the ice, they've grown together. You know, when you lose 9 guys off a championship team, the roles have become defined. The guys are clear now what they have to do. They do their job. They become tighter as a group on and off the ice, and I really feel this is a time of year where we're moving in the right direction to have a chance to do what we can again this year.
Yeah, well, an exciting weekend's on the way. Certainly a spot in the NCHC title game on the line. Also a spot in the NCAA tournament. Still very much up for grabs, and a great spot in the pairwise, Coach. Best of luck getting ready for this weekend in Minneapolis. We'll talk to you about it next week.
Thanks, Alex.
Brad Berry. When we come back, a chance to chat with the game-winning scorer, Trevor Olson, from the NCHC first round. That's next. Welcome back. Well, from go-to guy to fourth line forward to everywhere in between, the hockey career of Trevor Olson has fluctuated a bit over the years. But no matter the opportunity, Trevor Olson has certainly made the most of it.
Trevor Olson will be the first to tell you that he's more of a grinder than a goal scorer. The 6'2", 200-pound junior has become a staple in the UND lineup over the last 2 seasons, in large part because of the effort he puts in that usually goes unnoticed.
I'm a big physical body out there. I like to use my body, whether that be, laying a big hit or just doing the simple things right to kind of get our group going.
Olson's one of a number of players on this North Dakota roster that leads by example. But he's also become one of the voices of leadership on this team as well.
I like to, get my 2 cents in the locker room, and, one of the biggest messages I like to, send out there is just not to grip your stick so tight.
Number 11 is the definition of a glue guy, but that's not exactly his pedigree. In high school at Duluth East, he was a captain, scoring 32 goals and adding 57 assists in 2 seasons on varsity. In the USHL, he overcame injury to become a 50-point performer at Sioux City. But whether on the first line or the fourth, Olson has always put the team first.
It's just the, will to do whatever you need to do, whatever makes the team better. And I think that's only going to help me in the long run. I don't see myself as a first-line guy in the NHL, so I think, that versatility will help me in the long run.
That versatility has kept Olson in the lineup, even when goals were hard to come by. After scoring 3 times as a freshman, Trevor didn't find the back of the net once last season, but he still featured in 36 games, including the ones that mattered most.
Freshman year, I sat out during the Frozen Four, and that was pretty tough. And then, obviously last year, I got to play in those games and we won, a national championship. And I think just knowing both ends of the spectrum there has really grown my mental game.
Olson's place in the lineup has remained constant this season, despite carrying a goal drought that stretched to nearly 2 calendar years, 56 games in total. But this December in New York City, the junior couldn't have picked a better time to break out.
You think Madison Square Garden, you think some of the most amazing sports events of all time. Here you go, we got North Dakota against Boston College. Just catching that break, intercepting that pass is a pretty cool moment, especially in front of a ton of North Dakota fans that made the trip out there. It's definitely going to be a memory I'll always remember. Growing up, Bantams, Pee-wees, all you can do is think about those moments, like what would I do on, during this situation, yada yada, and that kind of calms the nerves a bit. You've thought about it your whole life, and then when you're finally in that moment, you just kind of think back to, how you always wanted to be in this moment. And obviously, you got to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given.
Olson has netted 3 more times since his game winner against Boston College in December, including 2 more game-winning goals on the road against Miami. UND fans will hope his scoring touch continues into the playoffs, but goals or not, Trevor Olson's not changing his message or his mindset.
Going into a playoff series, obviously we don't want to grip our sticks too tight because then we'll be thinking about it too much. So I think the big message is just to relax, play your role, but have fun doing it and enjoy the ride.
Well, as you saw earlier in the program, Olson picked up the game winner on Saturday. That's his third game-winning goal now in the last 4 contests for UND. What a time to find the scoring touch. We'll see if Trevor Olson and company can keep that run going in the Target Center this weekend. We'll set the scene for the Frozen Faceoff when we come back.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
Our season's still in the line. We need, I think for sure, 1 win down there, and I just think it's going to be a different feel in the locker room, and I think we're going to keep this momentum rolling into that tournament.
No matter what happens, there's going to be 4 great teams there. They're going to be hard games, and I think just rolling on this confidence into Minneapolis, you never know what's going to happen.
It's the 4th annual NCHC Frozen Faceoff this weekend in Minneapolis, and the only 2 teams that have been to each edition of the tournaments are set to square off in the semifinals. UND will take on the top seed Denver at 7:30 on Friday evening, following Duluth and Western Michigan, who kick things off at 4 o'clock. The semis and the final could all be seen live on CBS Sports Network. The day after the Frozen Faceoff wraps, the NCAA tournament field will be unveiled on Sunday at 11 a.m. on ESPNU. 1 win in Minneapolis should guarantee UND's spot in the dance, and if so, they'll be placed again in the West Regional at Shields Arena in Fargo as the host institution. Again, we'll find that out on Sunday. We'll break it down for you next Tuesday night on our next edition of North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry. Until then, I'm Alex Heinert. We'll see you at the Target Center.